Silence on the set!
So, recently someone told me,
The way you are, this is how I see a positive person. Really? Me?
and then I started thinking, am I a positive person? Or did she get a wrong impression about me? Or is it possible that I am now actually a way more positive person than I used to be? Overall, I am what people call an optimistic person, even though I prefer to call it realistic because I know for a fact that everything is and is going to be okay. But in the past, I definitely used to be way more negative, grumpy, not believing in myself, scared, and all that crap. Now I think, talk, and feel negative things way less often. Before, I also had a big tendency for anxieties, which are so useless and yet hit so strongly. The smallest event would get my mind to generate the worst case scenario, and my knees would start shaking, my heart would start beating faster, my cheeks would turn red, my palms would get sweatier, and overall I would become dizzy and nauseous. For example, in the middle of the day someone knocks on the door. It could be a mistake. It could be a neighbor asking for a lemon. It could be a postman who came to notify that I just won $38 million in a lottery, right? But my mind wouldn't even consider any of these. Instead, it would create a story of a policeman that came to arrest me because yesterday night a new law was accepted that says that wearing pink colors is no longer legal. It is offensive. And most of the popularity of Earth already knows about it, except you, Asya. And this story will be generated in my mind in less than a second, causing my body to change its temperature. I won't be able to talk with a strong sensation that someone punched me in the belly and I'm about to faint. And it's always related to some kind of paranoia that I did something wrong. It's related to me. And this is what I dedicated the previous year to fix. And I sort of did. Not entirely, because I still have to fix my behaviors and actions and thoughts from the past years of my life, but I am doing quite well. A good book recommendation here is Why Zebras Don't Have Ulcers by Robert Sapolsky, who is a neuroscientist and biologist that explores how chronic stress contributes to modern diseases and how to manage it more effectively. Additionally to the anxieties, I also had a lot of self-trust issues and many what ifs. What if I make a mistake? What if everyone will judge me? What if someone is going to be rude to me? What if everyone is right and I'm the only one who is wrong? As if these things never happened to me before. As if I never faced a failure. I have. And guess what? I learned something from it, became stronger, and maybe even had some new doors of opportunities opening for me. But what if I succeed? I had a lot of these ones too, and each of them felt great. So where are all these fears and lack of confidence coming from? Deepak Chopra explained that our lives are often affected by not even ours, but our ancestors' experiences. He's giving an example of how many Jewish people are struggling from diabetes today because they keep the intergenerational memory of hunger 3 or 4 generations after the Holocaust. Or how mice, who naturally love the smell of lavender, but if you give them a tiny electric shock each time you give them a possibility to smell lavender, 7 generations later, they will still be afraid of the smell of lavender. This thing was so liberating to me. I've realized that my fears, complexes or insecurities are the echo of what my ancestors were going through. They went through situations and lived in environments completely different from mine. I also noticed that I get very irritated when my grandma, a gorgeous woman, stands in front of the mirror and saying how ugly she is. Because that's what I learned. You should never focus on what's good and beautiful in you. Don't embrace or rock it. Instead, be humble. No, not humble. Worse than humble. Search for what bad is in you. Be quieter. Don't stand out, and remember, the best things are saved for others, okay? I guess this is just an old school mentality which is, again, irrelevant to me or my life. I'm not there anymore. The videos of Joe Dispenza were a great help for me. In his studies, he is not only emphasizing the importance of daily practice of gratitude, but he is also challenging you to say and think only good things about yourself. Spoiler, it feels very wrong and uncomfortable at the beginning. But then it gets easier and you start to enjoy it. He compares it to the muscle pain after you start exercising for the first times. So thanks to him and many other videos, books and people in my life, I'm now in a new place where I love and being grateful for who I am, how I look, what I do, what I have, simply because it's me. And I'm craving for self-expression. For the past year, I have created about 200 videos. without showing my face or featuring my voice, and only a couple with myself in them. Even though I love being in front of the camera or on stage or doing creative things or making inappropriate jokes, I was afraid of experimenting, of showing different sides of mine, what people are going to think or say, or who is even going to watch it. Which is weird because throughout my life I put myself in so many embarrassing situations that in theory I should be already immune to this. But nope. I have so many silly and crazy stuff in my portfolio of life that contributed to the corresponding reputation, and yet I'm afraid of what people are going to think. Are they even going to care? Bob Proctor was saying, some people are extras in their own movie. And that's how I've been living. I've been my own extra. Fast forward. All of a sudden, a few weeks ago, one of my old videos that was filmed with a shitty camera and light, with my skin full of acne, with no preparation or effort, started to gain popularity. And it wasn't even a funny one.
You need to close your nose like this. Muito obrigado.
Yep, that made me think that maybe, just maybe, you are at your best when you are yourself. Jordan Peterson said that whatever happens when you are telling the truth is the best thing that could happen, regardless of how difficult it could be. If you live in truth, guess what?
It's your adventure. Because what bloody adventure are you having if you tell someone else's story? It's not yours. And maybe if it's not yours, it's not good enough for you. And then you suffer, and then you're bitter, and then you're cruel, and then you're resentful. You get arrogant.
How powerful is this? At first, it feels very uncomfortable to allow yourself to be truly you and express yourself accordingly. But then you get used to it and you see wonders starting happening. People who don't enjoy your truth are simply no longer there. I mean, not in your life. I hope they're happy and healthy. But amongst the 8.2 billion of people who live on this planet, there are surely at least a couple who are like thinkers, who resonate with you based on who you are and would love to connect and spend time with you. But how are they even going to find you if you don't show your real self? Sometimes I try so hard to hide my accents or my skin problems or some extra fat on my body or the lack of knowledge in certain areas or not having certain skills. And then I see that one person that can barely speak his own language, didn't finish school, doesn't care about looks, and yet lives the best of his life, thriving, being successful, being loved. And I'm like, shit, was that an option? And I'm not inviting you to stop learning and growing and developing and working on yourself and striving to become the better you. My point is, you shouldn't wait to start living the best of your life when you are the best at everything. There is a very cool story that Cody Sanchez shared where she agreed to go on a 3-day trip with her girlfriends to a glacial mountain while she hates heights and hates hiking. But she was kind of convinced that she's tougher than everyone in this group. And when on day 3 they reached the most vertical ice climb, she realized that there is nothing she wants less than going up there. And then all her fears started to appear.
But if you don't summit, then you're not tough. And you gotta get up there because these other women are gonna do it and then you're gonna feel bad and whatever.
And then she figured, what am I trying to prove and to whom?
I'm pretty happy. Life's good. I don't have on my bucket list that I want to summit Mount Baker. I just kind of said yes to this trip.
So she made the decision not to go, and she said it took her more effort to not do the thing rather than do the thing. But she felt so good resting in the tent, especially when the group came back, completely destroyed, exhausted, and some of them even injured.
I guess choose your mountain wisely, right?
And as Steve Bartlett said to the reaction on this story,
so many people are right now climbing a mountain where they don't even care about seeing the view.
Right.
So remember, not every mountain is yours. Chill. Here's a cool meme someone sent me. It might be slightly off topic, but still, I'll give you a few moments to enjoy it. Most of my life I've been okay with who I am and my life, but then hard times came and anxieties started to kick in and a few difficult events happened, and that led me to do a lot of work with myself. One of the things that I learned in this journey is that the best answers are already within us, and to hear them, you simply need to get quiet. I deleted all social media apps from my phone, significantly reduced the time socializing, both face-to-face and over the phone, and increased the time I spend with myself, listening to my inner voice, practicing gratitude, going to the nature, reading books, doing yoga. And this was another scary move, to tell people that I'm no longer available. because I decided to dedicate time for myself and learning about happiness. But to my surprise, everyone was so supportive and understanding. Another very good reason to listen to yourself and to not be afraid of a change. I now consume mainly positive and inspiring content. I acknowledge my achievements. I compliment myself and I don't talk bad things about myself. I do not allow any negative thoughts of fear, lack, or failure. I'm eating a bit healthier, exercising a bit more, and I'm not drinking any coffee. Cheers. And even though I'm still learning and sometimes I do have digression, but these policies help me a lot to stay more often in a state of happiness. And the moments or days in which I slip to my old habits pass way smoother and faster, without me being angry at myself like I used to be for choosing the wrong behavior. I also no longer chase self-definition that most of my life I really wanted. I wanted to have an exact title, well-defined style, coherent ideas, and one day I might have it, but up until now this concept clearly didn't work for me. I wish I could say that I am an aerospace engineer and my favorite color is artichoke green and my favorite music is power grindcore rural metal and my favorite hobby is knitting teabag pockets. I wish. It probably would have made my life so much easier, but at the moment I simply can't. Most of the time I'm an extrovert, but sometimes I get very shy. I try to stick to vegan diet, but sometimes I want a barbecue party. I dress simply and comfortably, but sometimes I want to dress provocatively or sexy. I love greeting the sunrise, what a good sensation, but I also very much enjoy when I wake up at noon. All of this is still me, and I decided to allow myself to be me, whatever that me means at that moment. And when sometimes I get upset that I'm not like others or that I should live like normal people do, I come back to reading the poem One and Only You by James T. Moore. Every single blade of grass and every flake of snow is just a wee bit different. There's no two alike, you know. From something small like grains of sand to each gigantic star, all were made with this in mind, to be just what they are. How foolish then to imitate, how useless to pretend, since each of us comes from a mind whose ideas never end. There'll only be just one of me, to show what I can do. And you should likewise feel very proud. There's only one of you. I hope this video was helpful and I'll see you in the next ones.